Hi guys, welcome to my day and to my channel. Well, to the end of my day, because I'm just looking out of the window and night is falling. The world is winding down, well, at least my part of the world. And yes, I thought today I just came across a few of my pendulums, and it made me think about maybe doing a short video on pendulums and the use of pendulums, and maybe to dispel some common sort of misconceptions about what use of a pendulum is and where the answers come from and stuff like that, because I know many people think that it's similar to using a Ouija board or something like that. Now my view is that it isn't at all. It's something very different. And my view is that the answers that come to you through the use of a pendulum come from you. But that part of you which is timeless, that part of you that knows all things, part of you that does not see your life as a start and then a journey to the end, that part of you that knows you and knows the truth of you. That part of you which is there all the time, but normally we don't access because of the chattering of our monkey mind of daily living. The part of you that is blocked out by the busyness of daily life and of living in this body in the realm of matter. So I don't tend to use pendulums now. I tend to use tarot more for divination purposes, and the reason for that is because in my use of the pendulum, really the answers I got from it was yes or no or an indeterminate answer. Now, for yeses and nos, I would want to know a little bit more about that, and I think the tarot as an oracle of divination is excellent for that, because of the images and because of the construct of the tarot and because of the energies and the mechanism, I guess, of the design of the tarot. Gives you plenty to think about, gives you plenty to reflect on, gives you plenty to chew over, I guess. And as I've said a number of times in my videos, I don't use divination tools to make decisions for me. I use them to help me to think about the things I need to think about in order to make the right decision for me. The decision is in my very best interest. And so I don't tend to use the pendulum now. I would, I suppose, if I found myself in a situation where I just wanted to gain a bit of clarity or check something out, because the pendulum is very good for helping us to see where we lie to ourselves or where we tell ourselves something that we don't really believe. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a few moments. So I'm just going to move the camera now, and so we can see, the use of the pendulum in the here and now. Okay, so I'm going to move. You can tell I'm not a consummate YouTube professional because right in front of me is the most brilliant light, and it's giving me arc eye. So if I don't move soon, I think I'm going to lose my sight. Right, so come with me, please, and we'll be back in a moment. Hello again. So here we are at the table, and I've just got 3 of my pendulums that I'll show you in a moment. But before I do that, just a few things that I found to be useful and to know about pendulums. One, anything can be used as a pendulum. As long as you can put it on a piece of twine or string or on a piece of chain, it will work. But there are some things I found are better than others. and they are something that is symmetrical. If something is symmetrical, it moves more evenly than something that isn't symmetrical, I have found. We're told that a pendulum works better if it's made of something that will hold energy, like metal or crystal. Something that will hold personal energy, I mean, your personal energy. And finally, something that is of a medium kind of weight, not too light, not too heavy. If it's too light, it doesn't have enough mass actually to move easily. If it's too heavy, it will move, but it will take longer to build up the required amount of energy to move in a discernible way. So at least that's what I've found. So the three pendulums I've got today are this one, which is made of amethyst, and it's on a short chain, about 6 inches. This is made of lead crystal glass, and it's a longer, slimmer type of pendulum, and I have found that this moves most easily and most definitely. And then my last one is it's a piece of black obsidian, which I wear on my neck sometimes, in the shape of a tusk. So because it's crystal and because it's in close proximity to me, there would be a lot of my energy in that. It would, hold a lot of psychometry. So that's the third. So in terms of holding the pendulum, now people will say, well, you swing it yourself. Well, you do move it yourself, but you don't swing it. In fact, you are doing everything you can not to move it at all. So when you pick up your pendulum, when you want to use it, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to have asked yourself what question you have, and how you phrase your question is very important, because if this pendulum is only going to give you a yes or no answer, your question needs to be phrased in a way that it can do that. So you can't ask it either or questions. It's got to be questions that can be answered as a yes or as a no. So it's worthwhile thinking about how you're going to term and how you're going to phrase your question. Okay, so we're going to hold our pendulum between our thumb and forefinger, I would say with the length of chain or string or twine of about 6 to 8 inches. Now I like to brace my elbow on something so that it helps me not to move my hand. So you get yourself in position. You hold your pendulum between your thumb and forefinger very lightly, and you try to keep your hand as still as you can, because it's very easy to do this, isn't it? Look, with very minimum of movement, I've got this really big movement at the end of a pendulum. I did that myself. Very easy to do. Watch again. You won't see much movement in my hand, but you will see. I can't do it now because I'm trying not to move my hand. But you will see very easily a great big swing come in. I'm doing this myself. This is deliberate. Okay? So we don't want that, because anybody can swing a pendulum around like this. That is not what we're looking for. So still your pendulum. Okay, and the other thing we don't want is we don't want your preconceived idea for an answer. So once you've formulated your question, try to clear your mind as best you can of all things related to that matter. I'm going to try and still this pendulum by just touching it down on the cushion. then I'm going to lift it up. Now to start, if you haven't used your pendulum before, you need to calibrate it. You need to know what a yes answer is going to look like and what a no answer is going to look like. So I'm going to say to this pendulum, imagining that I haven't used it before, show me a yes. As you can see, it's beginning to swing in a clockwise movement. Now I swear to you that I am not deliberately moving my hand in any way. In fact, I am desperately trying not to move my hand. But I'm clear in my mind and I'm just saying, show me a yes. So it's a clockwise circle. Right. I'm going to move my elbow so it's more upright. Okay, now that'll help me to get the pendulum stiller. Okay, show me a no. Show me a no. And as you can see, it's building a anti-clockwise movement. And again, I swear to you, I am not trying to move this at all. Okay, so clockwise for yes, anti-clockwise for no, and just let it still a moment. Show me a don't know. And I don't know if you can see this because of the plane on which it's moving, but it's moving side to side. It's not circling at all. I've just realised, and I've chosen the absolute worst background in the world for you to see this. But it's moving from side to side, it's not circling. But it's a bigger movement, isn't it, than the yes or no. So I mentioned when I was doing my intro that you can use the pendulum to check out things with yourself. So you could ask the pendulum things like, am I happy about this circumstance? Do I feel that I am a valid person? Do I like myself? Am I true to myself? There's many things about your own personality that you can check out with the pendulum. I'll show you now the this obsidian on a thicker leather. Now let's just see whether or not it moves as well. Show me a yes. So as you can see, the movement's much smaller. It will get there, but it'll take a long time. I think that's because of the shape of it. Now let me just try with the amethyst. Still it down. No, not yet. We're not ready for you. Okay, show me a yes. Oh, and it's off. This is the heaviest of the pendulum, so it takes longer to get, you know, a bit of movement with it, but here we go. You can also get little charts that you put under, you can get them on the internet, print them off. You might find them useful. I don't, because as I say, I know which is a yes, I know which is a no, and I know which is a don't know for me. And some of the charts are very complicated unless you have a very, very strong connection with your pendulum and it moves pretty much in, you know, then they won't actually work, in my humble opinion. Anyway, thank you for listening. If you've got any observations or comments or questions, please leave me a message and I will get back to you. So from me and my pendulums, I will say bye for now. Bye.